Baker Mayfield and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers got their revenge against the Detroit Lions in Week 2 as they went up to Detroit and got that win they were seeking back in January. Their reward is they get to host Bo Nix and the Denver Broncos as they are coming off a tough loss against the Pittsburgh Steelers and are 0-2 on the season. We're going to break down this Week 3 matchup between the Broncos and the Buccaneers. Also, go over the in-game matchups that you need to watch, and at the very end of the video, provide our predictions for the game. But before we get into that, we want to give a huge shout-out to everybody that subscribed to the Tracy Take during our Week 2 prediction series videos. We set out a goal of getting 100 new subscribers, and thanks to you all, we got more than 200 new subscribers. We couldn't even imagine it. So welcome to the Tracy Take. And for this week, if you're new to the channel, we have a goal of getting 100 new subscribers. So help us out in reaching that goal once again by hitting that subscribe button, liking this video, and leaving a comment. Let us know who you think is going to win this game and why. So Ryan, Buccaneers coming off a big win against Detroit. Could be pretty big playoff implications as well. Both of those teams end up winning the division, and they have that head-to-head. But that's months away from now. So I think it's just huge that they went up there, got a win. They look solid. They went up against a tough Lions defense. They really actually only had Baker Mayfield only had 185 passing yards. And then the run defense, the rushing game was kind of non-existent against one of the top run defenses in the league. They gave up a lot of rushing yards, but that being said, though, they provided pressure on Jared Goff at the right time. And then they definitely had that, as you like to say, bend, don't break mentality as they stopped them a lot in the red zone, especially too with the key fourth down stop towards the end of the game to kind of stop the Lions' drive to potentially have a game-winning touchdown. And so Baker Mayfield looks solid. I think that's a big win going 2-0. The receiving duo of Mike Evans and Chris Godwin looks great. Defense and offensive line look much more improved as well. This is a solid Buccaneers team, and they're going up against a Denver Broncos team that has rookie quarterback in Bo Nix. He looked like a rookie quarterback going up against the Pittsburgh Steelers. To be fair, Steelers defense is also really good as well, but Broncos are definitely still in a rebuilding phase as well. What do you think of both of these teams kind of coming into this Week 3 matchup?
Yeah, I mean, two very different teams, very different stages. The Broncos are one of the worst teams in the NFL, I think, at this point. I mean, Carolina, I think, seems to be running away with that race. The Giants showed a little bit more signs of life in Week 2, but I think Denver is right in that category. And they did a good job of holding Pittsburgh to minimal points as well. But outside of George Pickens and Najee Harris, that offense is struggling. And then Justin Fields' inconsistency, I think, shined through as well. And this Broncos team just kind of in a tough spot. They didn't have a lot of draft capital this year. They had very little money in free agency, and like just a really hard situation for them to be in with the Russell Wilson contract and trade just definitely falling in favor of Seattle. So they're just rebuilding. They're trying to find good young players that can come in and make an impact for them. And hopefully as the season goes on, Bo Nix can improve and whatnot. But this year is to me going to be focused on moral victories and just improving. Whereas Tampa Bay, I think they have retooled very well after Tom Brady left a couple seasons ago. And yeah, like they looked good at the end of last year and really kind of started to put things together and just kind of built upon that. This year, they improved this offensive line drastically. This running game has started to kind of turn on as well. And Mike Evans, Chris Godwin both look like they're still in their 20s. So actually, I think Chris Godwin is still in his 20s, but I think he's like 29.
So he's up there. Not as up there as Mike Evans, but the Tampa Bay's offense just looks solid. I have some concerns with them, just longevity in the running game. But that's
you're talking about just Rachaad White or like just actual run blocking in general?
No, just putting just a run performance on the team. I like the offensive line that they put together. Graham Barton at center has been a huge improvement. And I think I like Rachaad White as well. Just want to still keep seeing them progress more. It is. They did go up against the Lions who had one of the top rushing defenses last season. And with this year, though, don't really expect any difference as well. So want to see them kind of have a good dominant running performance against this Broncos team, just so you can kind of start to kick that trend. So Let's kind of transition to the game itself here. But before we get into that, do want to put a couple bucks down on this game. Check the link down below in the description box. BetUS has a bunch of great promotions going on right now for first-time players. You can take a look at the odds for this game and also all the other games in week 3, as well as any other sport that you would like to place a couple bucks down on. So hit that link in the description box below. But with this game, I would say it's hard for me not to see the Buccaneers. Honestly, probably at least not 6.5-point favorites coming into this game. The Broncos, I think it definitely in a rebuilding stage, and I've had questions about this with when I drafted Bo Nix. I just don't know if he's the guy. In his defense, there's not that much talent around him. I mean, yes, you have Cortland Sutton, yes, and then they did draft Marvin Mims, that was Sean Payton's first pick as the head coach of the Denver Broncos. But in general, though, it's still just not the best offense overall. They're struggling to also kind of be effective with running the ball as well. And so they have a decent running back by committee because I like the guys, Javonte Williams, Jaleel McLaughlin as well. But in general, though, I think it's just tough for this team that I think consistently move the ball with Bo Nix at the helm. That being said, though, too, he's a rookie quarterback for a reason. He's going to have to take his licks, and this team's going to slowly keep improving. It's a long, long process to becoming a good team in the NFL. So, and kind of with that being said, though, too, is the matchup to me, I think, is going to be how this offensive line for the Buccaneers, for the Broncos, protect Bo Nix and company. They are looking like, if I was reading here, Vita Vea is believed to have suffered an MCL sprain. So I have to kind of see if he is going to be in the game. That's going to be a huge advantage, or just one less guy. That's a really big one less guy that they won't have to worry about if he is out for that game. But still, it's can they give him the time to then go through his progression reads, and then on top of that, then can Bo Nix make the right decision and a good throw in the process to this Bucs defense, who is improving. I know they gave up a lot of yards, as I already said, but still I think they are improving and making the right moves to becoming one of the more top defenses in the league.
Yeah, and that's I think there are things Denver could do in this matchup that could potentially stymie Baker Mayfield and the Bucs, but I just, at the end of the day, I see so many more avenues for the Buccaneers to come out ahead. Like, I think they could run the ball well and win this game. I think they could throw the ball well and win this game. I think this could be a defensive shootout or defensive battle back and forth. And I still think the Bucs could come out ahead. Whereas I feel like Denver, the only chance that they really have is if Tampa Bay just shoots themselves in the foot. And that to me, I think is just kind of the state of where Denver is at the moment, is they have to capitalize on other teams' mistakes, and they're going to really struggle to kind of create offense otherwise. So I'm going with Tampa Bay. I think they're just the better team. I actually think looking at the NFC South right now, Atlanta looked pretty good on Monday Night Football. The Saints have looked really good through 2 weeks, and Tampa Bay has looked pretty good through 2 weeks. Sneaky. I thought this would be one of the worst divisions in football, to be honest, and it's turning out to be one of the best. These three teams are going to be playoff contenders come November, December.
Well, as the designated Falcons fan, or the honorary Falcons fan, I should say, of the channel, Falcons looked improved. I would definitely say that after 2 weeks, though, if Falcons played the Bucs or the Falcons played the Saints, I would be nervous going into that matchup here because both those teams just seem to be clicking. There's just more team cohesion because both of those units have been together for at least a season. Go look at Baker and Tampa Bay last year. They started off slow, but then they had a good second half of the season, and as they all got used to playing with one another. Because I think that's one thing people don't give enough credit is just staying together as a team unit and just getting to know these guys and their rhythms and their habits. And that's kind of what we're seeing from the Buccaneers right now with Baker Mayfield and Mike Evans and Chris Godwin having a full season to play with one another, full off season then to work with one another and just get into those kind of syncrasies that you just don't get just from first meeting somebody or playing with somebody. So Buccaneers team, I think they're looking solid. They're making the right moves as well, it seems, in the offseason. So they're going to be a good team and a very formidable team, I think, throughout the entire season.
Yeah. So we're both taking the Buccaneers in this matchup against the Denver Broncos. Let's go ahead and wrap this video up. If you guys have not already, please go ahead and like and subscribe. Leave a comment down below on who you think is going to come out ahead in this matchup, and let us know why you think the Buccaneers are going to win also. And other than that, we will see you guys next time.